Irina
Irina
needs
needs
to be in. She's
Is it Irina's
waiting.
here? Oh, good. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Hey. Wow, it's Mercury retrograde. All right, the last day. How do you feel about launching? I remember reading Jeff Walker's product launch formula. This was a book that he wrote probably 20 years ago. And I remember reading that book cover to cover. And I orchestrated many launches just from reading that book. It was really well written. He gave a lot of detail, and I know it brought him a lot of followers. I learned so much. But here's the thing, launching as a coach is a lot of work, okay? If you have ever done your own launch, please in the comments let us know if you loved it or if you hated it. Most women coaches dread launching, and it's not because they lack ambition or they're lazy. It's just that their launches, when they did it, drained every ounce of energy that they had. So whether they got great results like a six-figure launch, right? Or they got really crappy results like they got zero clients, the whole launch process can be incredibly draining. You know, it's weeks of all-consuming work. It goes on. It's not weeks as in 3 weeks. It can be very likely 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. And it's a whole lot of content that you're creating under tremendous pressure. You know, um, it's the pressure of, I got to get this right, or are they going to like this? Are they going to buy? You know, it's just a lot of pressure. It's not just like fun, like I'm just having a good time sharing my work out here and it doesn't matter. Tech problems come up, not to mention your relationships, your personal relationships that go completely neglected, the sleep that you sacrifice. When it's over, if the income doesn't match the amount of effort and heart and soul that you poured into your launch, it can be really disheartening. And who's going to want to go back in there when you felt like a failure? I want to let you know that the problem is not you as a coach. It's probably just the fact that you use the wrong strategy. Coaches who don't succeed with launches were using strategies built from businesses with teams. They had established audiences already, and they probably had a really good infrastructure that was dedicated to the launching process. So if you're a solo entrepreneur and if you're a newish coach or you just don't have all those resources behind you, you can feel really, really depleted. So, welcome to the Spiritual Business Hour with Lynn Bell. We're in the final stretch of the Liberated Coach Summit. We have just 2 more days and then the summit closes. And with that closing goes the loss of 20 badass speakers with deep information. They have the keys to liberate your time, your money, your pleasure, your mind, and your business. So I want to just start off our episode today by saying don't let this opportunity pass you by. Sign up now with the link in the comments. It's absolutely free to join. So I'm here to get today with guests from the summit, speakers from the summit. I'm here with Liz Rankin. She's the author of Girl, Just Make the Damn Decision. All right. And we're here also with Magdalena Grace. She is the womb whisperer, and she's going to help you heal ancestral wounds around money. We are here with, we were here with Shmiko Cole, but because of Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde scared Shmiko off. So I'm sorry about that, you guys. That's beyond my control. But we are here with Cindy J, and she helps coaches, speakers, and purpose driven business owners get seen and have fun. Our Irina Portnova is here. She is a business coach, a podcast host, and the creator of Virtual Stages. Dr. Richard Kaye is here. He's a leading influence and an authority, excuse me, he is a leading authority on influence, credibility, and media visibility. And we have Martin Kouba, who helps coaches and purpose driven business owners understand AI beyond ChatGPT. What an awesome lineup we have today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. So, I want to start us off as we do every time. We are asking, like, what do you know about launching? Tell us how you feel about launching. We are all entitled to our own opinions. I know that people who are watching have their opinions about launching. Who would like to get us started and tell us, like, about launching, how you feel about it, or just, yeah, what's your experience with it? Who wants to start us off?
All right, it's a quiet crowd. We're talking about launching a business or a book, Sherilyn.
Crystalline, and
It's Crystalline, sorry.
I'm
It's Mercury retrograde.
It is Mercury retrograde and our communication is off, but that's okay. But it's whatever, we're coaches, so we're launching. We could be launching a book, we could be launching a product, we could be launching anything. So whatever you think, whatever you want to share about.
Well, let's talk about books. I'm curious. Raise your hands, even though I can't see them, if you're an author. Okay, so here's the deal. We've all got a story to tell. If you do, there are three major kinds of book publishers: the big houses, the Random, Putnam, etc. They want to know how much you've got for a marketing budget, and then they own you for 5 years. They own the copyright on the book. You can't do a thing. By the way, publish simply means make available to the public. I spoke with a prospect last month. He said, Putnam published my book. Now what? That was it. Any of us here could go online and go to KDP, wherever you want to go, and publish your book and pray to God your family and friends will read it. They won't. There are 34 million books on Amazon. 4,000 books released every single day. How are you going to stand out from the crowd? I'm on some Facebook group and people are, I launched my book, nothing happened. Whether you choose to work with us at Top Talent or anybody else, it's not just the launch of the book, it's the campaign that goes after it.
Well, and that's the thing that I think is really important that people need to kind of understand and what we want to look at.
Yes.
When you're launching, it is a campaign. It is a lot of work. Who on the call has actually launched a product or something other than a book, like launch themselves as a coach? Magdalena, would you like to share about your experience with launching? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about this project because 6 years ago this week, I launched my podcast. And of course, at that time, I just want to preface with, I was operating from a very, like, I would call it wounded masculine, like go, push, do. It's like the Black Friday sale, like you FOMO if you don't show up and all these things. And so I was like pushing, built the email list, got all these rave reviews. I launched in the top 10 of entrepreneurship and my podcast in US and top 20 in other countries. So I was like patting myself on the back, but oh my goddess, I was exhausted. And what I realized was that's like the patriarchal systems, like life is a marathon, not a sprint. And I fell into, this was me, I'm not blaming anyone. This was me falling into the FOMO, the like Black Friday sale, like you got to get it now kind of thing. And I realized, wait a minute, most podcasts like are done kaput in 60 days. And I lasted 4 years, actually 6 years, 400 episodes. So I switched to, thankfully I was a marathon runner, so I understand marathons, and this is a marathon. This is a long game. So that whole failure to launch and people putting all that self-imposed, I might add, but also societal pressure, like you have to launch in the top 10, best-selling author, Amazon, I'm sorry, I'm going to call bullshit and all of that. It's just like another thing to get external validation, when if your heart and your values are in alignment with your truth and you know you're going to be here for the rest of your life, hopefully, sharing your passion and your truth. I shifted slowly after that and recognized, like, I'm going to launch, like, I have a 5-day challenge next month. Sure, I know how to promote, I know how to do it with excellence, and I'm also not going to be attached to the outcome, and recognize that beyond that launch of my 5-day challenge, there's going to be all this momentum and all these people and all these conversations. So I'm also like, think like a hunter, work like a farmer. That was another old sales analogy back in the day. That's the way I look at launches.
Excellent. Very good. I mean, that's what a lot of people go through. I remember I took a class to learn how to launch. I paid $20,000, $24,000 was $2,000 a month. I was a part of this program, and this woman, she's an amazing coach, she had an amazing theory around launching, and she was kind of like, "Hey, get your product and launch it over and over again, regularly." And it worked really well. I did very, very well using that strategy, but launching requires a lot of energy. So, can someone who would like to tell us about have you ever launched something that left you feeling really, really energized? Like you did the launch and you were energized after it and ready to go. Who would like to share something along those lines? Irina, go ahead.
I can go. So
Go ahead, Irina, go.
I don't know if you can hear the echo. No? Everything is good?
I cannot hear the echo.
So yeah, for me, I was also launching the challenges. I was launching the experiences, and the way I look at it, I love what you said just now, Crystalline. Each time we are doing something, we are actually collecting the data. So this way we can look what worked and what can be improved. And what I noticed from my launches, when I just go with that energy, right? Again, energy before any strategy. Sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes it's all about connecting with people. It's all about just having these engagements, because when you can hold the audience and the audience is in love with your energy, no matter what you are doing or saying, it's going to make a sense, and people are actually following us. People are buying from us. So my best lesson was that each time I'm doing something, practice makes it better. Each time it improves and makes it better. And again, yes, we are during the launch, we feel exhausted, but at the same time, there is so much satisfaction because you have that higher purpose. You love to be around people, you love to be engaging. And I feel this is a great experience, and this is our own growth. Because if somebody haven't done any launches, I feel that there is like another level of identity that we are growing through when we are doing something like that.
Oh, I really, really appreciate that, and it makes a lot of sense. It's almost like that launch either has to that we put so much emphasis on it, like it must pay us, it must reach 100K, or we're failures. And I understand why people say that, but it's not the reality. The reality is that the energy that you get, what you're getting back is knowledge. What you're getting back is building little baby steps, perhaps with people. You're getting back a lot of experience. You're building your audience. Maybe they haven't purchased immediately, but at least they are. You have put yourself out there for the next launch. Yeah. Go right ahead, Cindy. You're muted. Unmute.
Any launch you're going to have energy with. Can you hear my echo?
Yeah, a little bit. Let me mute. Let me mute.
Is that better? Okay. So with any launch, you need some sort of energy towards it. I've noticed, because I help my clients launch a lot, and those that don't have any energy towards it, their launches usually suck. But however, regardless what you're launching, some launches are more extensive than others. I always say it's a system. It's like a recipe. So there's 1,000 different recipes for a chocolate cake, and there's 1,000 different ways to launch a product or a service. And you need to find the one that you find fun, that aligns with you. And whenever you're doing that, your energy increases and you have a much better launch because you're having fun in the process, even though you might be exhausted because you have to work hard sometimes. I have a mentor who always says, so many people think they have to work hard to succeed. And he always says, you don't have to work hard to succeed. You have to be willing to work hard when it's time to work hard. So you work hard during the launch, but do it with something you enjoy doing it, and the energy and the clients will follow.
I absolutely love that because I find that to be absolutely true, Cindy. How much of a successful launch comes down to the size of the audience versus the quality of the relationship with that audience? What do you think, guys? Liz?
Well, audience has nothing to do with how successful your launch is going to be. There could be 5 people in the room, and if those are your ideal clients, the people that you are there to serve, the ones that are aligned with your mission, your goal, maybe you've had a really great process to be able to screen them, to get them in. And that comes down to all the funnel and the messaging and were you desperate when you were trying to get people in the room? And maybe you threw out an ad and you gave away your firstborn to get people in the room. And those people aren't there to align. I know a lot of people chase the virality of posts and stuff. And that I'm sorry, but it's just not the way to go. If you are a coach, stop chasing clients, attract the right people, get the right people in the room, because you can have 1,000 people in the room and nobody feels what you are coming from heart with and aligned with your message, what you're bringing to the table. And like everyone's saying, energy is everything. The belief in what you're selling is everything. When you get in front of these people, as long as you have the right ones in the room, you could get all of them to buy. If there's 4 of them, might have nobody buying if there's thousands.
You know, I agree with this 100%. I remember having 6 people, 6 people at the tail end of my launch on my retreat. I'd done all this work, and you know what? All 6 of them signed up for my program, so that turned out to be a $30,000 launch. So I don't think it depends on the size. I think it does depend on the quality. Does anybody else want to comment to that? I think that, Irina, please go ahead.
You know what? With the years of me working with the summits as well, what I notice, I always keep saying the mantra, quality over quantity. And that's exactly how that affirmation really works for me. So now I never get afraid if I have less people that signing up, because I know I always keep saying to myself, these are my people. The people that come into my space, they are the people who want to learn from me. And the more, again, always remind ourselves, our beliefs, our thinking, exactly creating the reality. And the more we connect with that, when we are in this business world, more and more I'm coming to the conclusion, it's not just, looking at whatever is happening and making the, with logical mind, the decision out of it. It's more like I allow things to unfold. Even though sometimes maybe it's not showing the way that I want, but I am not going to doubt myself, or I'm not going to say that, second guess myself. I'm just going to trust the process. And the more I stay in the process, the more I am just calm and knowing that I'm not going to focus on the end and results. I'm going to stay in the process. The longer I allow myself to stay in the process, the results are always showing up. So again, quality over quantity.
Beautiful, Irina. That was really well said. Quality over quantity matters. And I think that That is difficult in these days. You know, there's a lot of fast moving stuff. I got a question for Martin. Martin is our AI specialist. So, Martin, how is AI changing what is possible for a solo coach during a launch? Like, what can AI take off the plate of a woman coach who's trying to put her business out there?
Before I get into that, I would like to say a bit about what was said before about the great opportunities that are out there, and that it's so easy to get inspiration from what others are doing, and that you might feel compelled to do it. And you might feel tempted to bite off more than you can chew. And on that, I would like to say that it's good to remember that nobody learned to walk without falling down. And also, you don't need to be an expert. You just need to have a bit more experience than your ideal client. And that said, what can AI bring to the table? AI can make things much more easier and accessible, and it can also tempt you to do it all and all perfect. And it can be overwhelming then in that approach. So what I like to tell my clients is to not try to do everything at all altogether, but to still go with baby steps and treat AI just like your buddy, like your team member that knows a bit better. And that team member, you have to tell where you stand and what you want to achieve. And then ask what is the next best step and what you can do to grow a bit. And that is, in my opinion, the best way to successfully grow step by step with AI.
Boy, that was gorgeous. That was so beautifully said. This whole thing, Martin, you just nailed it, man. AI can be a temptress, okay? She is a temptress in red heels. Like, come on, baby, you want to do it all, don't you? You can do it because it's AI. We can do it together. But no, take it step by step and back down and get professional help. That was great, Martin. Thank you so much. Yes, Magdalena.
I just want to share something because it's relevant. And I do know that right now it may not be as relevant. So I'm dating myself. But in 2020, when I launched my podcast, and I say with humble pride, I'm a little bit cray cray. All right. So I have a huge network. And so I reached out to my whole network. Like you said, launches can be exhausting. July 20th of 2020, I'll never forget it because I was like messaging everybody and saying, hey, can you write a review for my podcast? And the key thing here that still applies today, forget AI, with all due respect, forget text messaging. It's about trust and rapport in relationships, sales 101, right? And launching is still about trust and rapport. And one of the best ways to make $1 million is to share your heart, your vision that you're casting with people. People have to be enrolled in your vision and what you are magnetizing, embodying. What is your belief? What is your truth? And because I had a huge belief and still do, even though I shut that podcast down, it was Healthy and Wealthy and Wise, 6 years, 400 episodes. So a lot of passion, right? And so I was able to get 150 people to agree to write reviews because they trusted my heart and my vision, and I was able to exude that passion. You know, the buying recession, the online thing, it's because people have been screwed left, right, front, and center. Let's just be honest with all the online stuff, and even AI has already gotten a bad rap. No offense to anyone who loves it. it's still about, what is my passion? What is my vision? What is my purpose? And can you buy into it? And it all starts with your heart and your ability to first enroll yourself and then to convey that to other people. And that's duplicatable in your own life if you choose to really just forget technology for a moment. Again, not to over exaggerate, but like Christ and sharing his message in theory, that's been also to the wayside, but being able to go and share that belief and that passion for people and get them to buy into it, right? That's the key when it comes to launches.
Excellent. Beautiful, Magdalena. I want to pause us right here for a moment because remember, on Thursdays, we are broadcasting in the Women Helping Women Entrepreneur Group. There are a million women in that group, and I get exactly 30 minutes to share my live stream. So, I'm really grateful that you all are here sharing with us. We are all speakers at the Liberated Coach Summit, and I would like to invite you to join us at the summit. There are just 2 days left to enjoy, Friday and Saturday. It ends Saturday. It's going to be gone. There are ways to extend, but for a price. Why not get it for free? So please use the links in the comments to sign up and meet Martin, Richard, Cindy J, Liz, Magdalena, and Irina, and myself, of course. And we're all talking about how to free yourself in your business, free yourself around your time, your money, your mind, your business, and your pleasure, so that you can unleash yourself as a coach, but also unleash this incredible prosperity in your business. Now, the links are inside. We're going to also if you're on the Women Helping Women's group, we're going to say goodbye. And the rest of us, though, are going to continue with this conversation. Zaina, will you please go ahead and disconnect the Women Helping Women's group? Magdalena, that was a really wonderful, I love your passion. I love how you've done the masculine and you're doing the feminine, and that rocks. And you can also, it just helps to amplify. When you embody both, you are amplifying both, and that is where our power lives. All right? Now, I have a question for Richard. Hold on just one second, you all. I'm dealing with a little technical snafu that is coming up here. There we go. I got it done. So, Richard, I've got a question for you. I think this is probably really a good one for you. What visibility strategies work best in the lead up to a launch for a coach who doesn't have a large audience? So she's a coach. She's probably very good at what she's done. She's gotten certified. She's putting herself out there, but she doesn't have a large audience. What would be something that you would recommend for her?
So there's so many things you can do, ladies and gentlemen. Teasers create the want. If you've ever gone to the movies, you see commercials coming next month, coming in 6 years. Create the want so people want what you have. If you have the ability, take a chapter, a couple of pages even, turn it into a flip book. And this free software, you can do that. Give them a sample of what it is. Coming next week or coming next month, coming in 3 weeks, coming in 2 weeks. It's here. And it's influence, credibility, and exposure. If you create that want, and we all go out and buy things. Hey, I want that. Do I need it? Not necessarily, but I'm going to buy it. You create that out in the field and have people tell people your launch is guaranteed success? No, but a much higher probability. That answer your question? Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's such a great idea. A teaser, putting it out there. My book is getting launched next month, and I can't wait to start teasing it out and sharing it. It's very exciting. This is all good. This is all good, fun stuff, you guys. And I feel bad when I see a coach who has had a bad launch experience and she's just timid and holding back and avoiding it at all costs. Um, Here's a question. If a coach had a launch that nearly broke her and is now avoiding launching altogether, what would you tell her? What would you tell her to help her have a different experience? Who wants to take that on? Irina, I see little flappy hands down there.
I
I
love
love
that.
that.
So my first tip would be we either win or we learn. Even when something wasn't successful, there is always a data that we can collect from that. And by having the data, we have our feedback. And now we know what can we tweak so we can produce different results. And again, I always love to repeat that the winners are not the quitters, and the quitters are not the winners. And this is something that really works well for me because as long as we are staying in the game, we are going to win one way or another. So the longer we stay, the more we understand, the more our brain wires differently. We start understanding maybe some intricacy, maybe some clarity comes to us in the wave that we haven't seen before. And like I said, the invitation is because a lot of times when people are looking at the success, they do not see how much failure was behind that success, including myself. So again, we either win or we learn. So keep going because you can definitely succeed.
Beautiful, always beautiful stuff coming from you all. I would not be here in my six-figure wins situation. I would not be here if I had quit, if I had given up. I got my ass kicked so many times, so many failures, and at the same time, I look at what I'm putting together now. I'm the host of this summit. I've got another several launch steps that are coming through. I've got a book that's being published. I've got 800 women under my belt. The reason is because I just kept going, cry my tears, and keep on going. Liz, I saw you put your hand up. Would you like to speak to that? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so
Yes,
more and more about people giving up after their first launch. It's a little bit mind blowing. There are people who employees, let's take NASA for example. They work on a prototype, it fails, they relaunch it, they test, they experiment, they design things. Literally, they still get paid to do the thing. And I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, you put so much pressure on yourself. You're like, okay, I just failed. Like I'm just a failure. And like Martin was saying, when a baby falls, are we just like, okay, you're just never going to walk. You're fine. Just stay right there. You're not going to learn to walk. You've got to test and repeat. You've got to experiment. You got to put things out there. You got to see what the feedback is. Test it, repeat it. I mean, why do we have electricity today, right? Because test, fail, repeat. It's the same system. And I think coaches need to apply that to their practices as well. And they will see, like, you keep chipping away and the gold is like just a millimeter through the wall, through the mountain. You can't see it, but just keep chipping away and it's right there.
That is so true and very, very insightful. Martin, please go ahead.
I just love that. And I would like to add, there's this saying that you have to get your shitty videos and shitty stuff out there because you can only learn from it and grow from it. So just get started, do something, and you might feel embarrassed about it, but learn and move on.
Excellent. Yep. And very, very great wisdom. Cindy, I have a question for you because I feel like this is something that is straight out of Cindy's playbook. I might be wrong, okay? What does a realistic, sustainable launch timeline look like for a solo woman coach? Like, what's an honest way for a coach to be able to put herself out there?
I think it depends upon what they're launching. Some things you can launch in 4 weeks, and sometimes you need 6 months worth of planning. And it depends upon their experience and their team. Whenever we say solopreneur, I honestly don't believe any of us are solopreneurs. We need other people to build our business. So if you're trying to do every single aspect of the launch yourself, you need to give yourself a lot longer time than if you have a team of 3 or 4 people. And if you have a coach leading you that's already been there, done that. I can guide somebody to, let's say, launch a summit in a 3-month period. But if they were launching their summit all by themselves, I don't think most new people could do it in 3 months. I think they should take at least 6 to 9 months for all the steps that lead up to a summit, because there's a lot of steps that a lot of people don't think about. So it really depends upon that. I wanted to backtrack. I did raise my hand earlier. I don't think you've seen me. To something Dr. Richard said about, putting out the attention. I believe with regardless what you're launching, you want to use the AIDA model, because first you need to bring awareness to whatever the product is. You're not trying to sell it. You're just doing teasers. You're letting people see what's there. And then you add it to get them interest. So you add it like, what would your life be like if? Or can you imagine being a 6-figure coach? How would that change your life? Because that builds the interest. And then you start talking or teasing about the actual program, which creates desire for the program. And then you ask them to take action. So whenever you use all 4, the awareness, interest, desire, and action in any launch, you're going to have a better success rate than if you just say, hey, I'm launching something next week, and you start promoting the heck out of it because there was no build up to it.
Really insightful. Thank you, Cindy. That's great. I like that model. I love that what both you and Richard said about like getting people interested, like, and it's not just about, oh, I'm gonna just slam you with my sale, buy my stuff, right? It's more like, oh, let me entice you. And I think that's really, really powerful. If I were a coach, and there was a woman, let's all imagine, because we all have had this experience ourselves, but we all know these people. There's a coach who just got her certification. Okay. What do you all think is the very first thing she needs to do to launch herself out there, or to launch her she knows how to coach people. She has a little offer. What's the first thing she should do to launch her offer? Go ahead, Magdalena.
I wanted to honor Cindy Header. For me, it's, first of all, you have to make sure that your belief and your vision is cast, right? As within, so without. So as long as you have a clear vision and purpose and clear target audience and offer, then the rest is the icing on the cake, is sharing your vision and enrolling others into it and asking for referrals.
That's beautiful. What great insight. Absolutely. Cindy, would you like to say something?
It was very similar to what Magdalena said. First of all, you need to be very clear on the solution that you're solving. A lot of people, whenever they launch, especially newer coaches, entrepreneurs, they say, oh, I'm having the, let's build a list. I'm going to help you build a list. But in the client's mind, they don't want to build a list. They want clients. So you have to focus on the solution that the client needs, but also whenever you're thinking of, everything's always thinking about the client, you want to think, what does the client need? And what does the client believe is the solution to their problem? Because a lot of times you need to intertwine that with what they need, because they may need a list to get clients, or they might need to collaborate with other people to get clients, or they might need to speak to get clients, but they think that they just need to post more on Facebook. So you have to sort of intertwine the two whenever you're launching something, saying the real secret to getting clients isn't posting more on Facebook. Click here and let's talk about what the real reason is. So it's really going to their solutions or away from what they think is the solution.
Beautiful, really deep insights coming from somebody that I can tell knows. Martin, go ahead, please.
What I would like to add to what Cindy just said is when you start to become a coach, you go through the program or whatever, you might forget why you started out with that. And I believe everybody, when you look back, what is your pain? Because that's the pain that you have overcome. That's the one aspect you really understand, because the best approach to your client is when you understand your client. And if you can understand that pain and you can relate to that because you went through that and you overcame that pain, then you can really bring that across and show that you understand where your client is, and you can bring across that you can help your client to also overcome that.
Great, Martin. Thank you. Very, very insightful as well. Richard, you're muted.
Not anymore. Thank you. What sets you apart from every other coach out there? Many, many people talk about, I do this, I graduated this, I do this, I do this. Nobody cares what you do. Harvard professor said, nobody goes to the hardware store to buy a 1/4-inch drill. They want a 1/4-inch hole in the wall. Talk to the outcome. That's one. The other one is get in touch with local media, get in touch with newspapers, get an article published. You become the de facto authority. The more publicity you have, you build your credibility. You get people to say, I choose you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Such great insights. I'm telling you all, we have lots of wisdom on these calls, man. There's so much wisdom on these calls. I see that little hand. I see what you think. I don't see those little jazz hands. Hey, baby. Go, Irina, go.
I love that each one of us has our own perspective. The way I look at it, be the discoverer. Because no matter how many strategies or scripts we have, let's face it, there is that evolution that we are all going through from where we started to where we are today. And we continue evolving, right? We continue improving. So my tip would be stay in the discovery and be the explorer, because the more we stay in curiosity, it takes the time to understand the audience. It takes time to clarify the message. It takes time to connect with the real clients. But as long as we have that mindset of, I'm just going to be curious, I'm not going to be defeated, that is going to be the winner.
Absolutely, man. We gotta, even if you gotta fake it, okay? Even if you have to fake it for yourself, you cannot afford to let your energy go down the dumps. One of the things that I do with my clients, anybody who comes to me to get their business built, we do internal work first. I look at what your mindset is around money, but I also look at your mindset around your failures, around your success, and then we look at whatever is going on inside as we go through the process. When you're building your business, when a woman is building her business, the moods fluctuate. Sometimes you're doing things that scare you, you're pushing through. We don't want to just push through. We want to feel what we're feeling as we're going through it. So the very first thing I would recommend for a new coach who has just graduated and she's got an offer, first thing is look at yourself, get ready to nurture yourself, set up your nurturing system, and build your esteem around this process and understand what it's all about. Now we're getting ready to wind down here. I want to give these are presenters at the Liberated Coach Summit. They are they were brought into the summit because they are excellent at what they do. I know that they are excellent at what they do because I've been following them, and they are highly curated for this summit and what they offer. You have the opportunity to learn with them by joining the summit for free right now. There are 3 days left. Each of these guests has offered something specific for you as a part of the summit. What I'm going to ask them to do is to just tell you what their gift is. We are going to just focus purely on what our gifts are at the summit and let people enjoy that so that they can come in and learn more by signing up for the summit itself. Who wants to start us off? Who wants to tell us about their gift? Cindy, go ahead.
First of all, if you're tired of trying to find clients, or it's easier to attract the clients that you're meant to serve, and you want to do that utilizing strategies that are easy and fun to you, ones that naturally fit your gifts. Therefore, I've created a quick 3-minute quiz that you can take that says, discover your client attraction style. There's 7 different styles. And when you after you take the quiz, you'll get a guide showing you what your greatest strengths are with that type, also some of your challenges. And then it's followed by different prompts and things that you can utilize in social media to really bring forth your strength, your client attraction style. And then after a few days, about the 4th day, on an email, you'll get another guide that shows you how your secondary strengths and client attraction styles can enhance your primary style.
Fantastic. What a great gift. And I did that quiz, and I was really surprised by the amount of information that you were able to draw and give me. So that was really, really valuable. Thank you, Cindy. Who else wants to go? All right, Liz, go right ahead.
So the gift that I'm giving away to those who register for the summit is a workbook, which mirrors my book, Girl, Just Make the Damn Decision. This is a workbook that you will walk through. It's going to ask you the difficult questions that maybe you're resisting, but it's going to help you to take action, build momentum, implement steps to be able to make decisions that change the trajectory of your coaching business. Humans alone make 35,000 decisions a day. And if you top that with being a mom, being an entrepreneur, and I'm even thinking coaches are probably more. So it's 70,000 decisions a day that you are making for yourself. Think about, you're also making decisions for how to serve your clients, how to show up. And we don't realize that. A lot of it is our subconscious beliefs, our limited beliefs, things that have happened from our past experiences, automatically creating those decisions. So you want to look and be more aware at the decisions you're making, and this workbook will help you through that.
That is really a great, great gift. Thank you so much, Liz. Who else wants to go now? Irina.
I forgot to unmute myself. So I just wanted to say, because a lot of times, a lot of coaches are actually looking they are doing all the work. They are showing up. They are having the webinars. They are always talking about their help, but there is still that missing link to client flow. And that's exactly what my gift is for everyone who is signing up for this beautiful summit, is to discover your missing link to client flow. Because It's only 64 seconds of that quiz that you are taking, and it's going to reveal your client flow archetype and the one missing link ready to shift. Because again, we cannot see the picture when we are the ones in the frame. So these kind of tools are helping us to identify and see what exactly can be shifted in order to start welcoming our clients to our business. And that's my gift.
That is a great gift. Thank you. Thank you, Irina. Very good. Magdalena, go right ahead.
Awesome. So I represented the Pleasure Shackle. And if you remember my story, 6 years ago this month, I launched my podcast, but I was really in what I would call the wounded patriarchal masculine energy of go, do, push, overthink, over strategize, which is important. And I righted that ship. And now my story on my ebook, The 3 Keys to Reclaiming Pleasure, Power, and Prosperity through your yoni. So those lower 3 chakras hold all the toxic masculine patriarchal energy, the fear, the guilt, the shame, the abandonment, the addiction. Like we just want to like not have to deal with the feminine, but the feminine energy is rest to receive. Pleasure is perfect and it's your divine birthright. Abundance is your divine birthright. But if you're only in the masculine, go and do and strategize and overthink, guess what? You're going to probably spend more money than you make. And so to rebalance that, we get into that yoni principle of healing and pleasure and power and receiving at a deeper level energetically, because we're 60% energy. A lot of people in the coaching world think of mind and physical doing, but it's really about the energy. So if you want to awaken your feminine power, heal ancestral money wounds, which is root chakra, then please check out my gift.
Absolutely. Check that out because, you know, down there is where it's at. Excellent. And Richard, what about you? What's your gift for us?
Gift. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to give gifts. How well do you show up in the public? What does the media know about you? I've spoken about being out there and having a presence. This is a free self-appraisal assay. richardkaye.com, RICHARDKAYE.com/quiz-ice. Nothing to do with politics. It's influence, credibility, and exposure. Find out what the public knows about you so you can then accelerate and enhance your visibility in the public.
Thank you, Richard. And really, the best way to actually access Richard's gift is through the Liberated Coach Summit, which you can sign up with using the link in the comments. To access all the speakers' gifts here, you sign up through the Liberated Coach Summit, and then you can access the gifts. And you get an incredible interview because all of these people and I sat down and had discussions around the things that are holding you back. And I also offered a gift. And look, here's the reason why I created the summit. I created the summit because in my own business, I noticed that I was experiencing limitations. There was a limitation on my mind that was creating a limitation on my business, that was creating a limitation on my time, and that was creating a limitation on my money. What was ultimately what it was coming down to was I was limited in my pleasure. I was not having a good time running my business. And that was not cool because my business is my purpose. So I created this Liberated Coach Summit so that we could bring these speakers together and actually talk about those things that are holding us back. Now, my gift is a quiz to help you understand exactly how you are being held back. So it takes you through the 5 shackles that I just mentioned, and it helps you assess yourself so that you can see exactly what's holding you back. Then you receive a guidebook that will tell you exactly how you can break free from that shackle and set yourself free. So how you can liberate yourself. All right, so take the quiz, get the guidebook, you sign up by going to the Liberated Coach Summit. I want to thank you all for joining us today, everyone. Martin, did we not talk about your gift? Holy macaroni! And look, here's the thing. Martin's gift is essential, and it's right up my alley because it has to do with what I love, AI. Martin, please, I'm sorry about that. Please share with us your gift.
I focus on the mindset shackle. I'm a tech guy, and I help clients find solutions for way over 30 years. And I do see a lot of overwhelm. Together with these options that you have out there with the tech and the increasing of the development, you want to implement it, and it's so easy to get caught up. You can do that. I want to do that. I want to learn that. And right now we're experiencing that big paradigm shift with AI, and everything's changing and everything's moving ahead so rapidly. And my guide helps you tackle that and approach that without feeling overwhelmed. For I do believe I bring an approach that is graspable for each and everybody.
Absolutely. And your approach, Martin has such a wonderful, welcoming, soft tone. And imagine, sometimes we tend to think about tech people as being a little bit edgy, maybe a little bit hard, but learning from someone like Martin who clearly understands, the humanity behind your business. Absolutely, you want to learn from him. So definitely join us for the Liberated Coach Summit. So that is the end of the Spiritual Business Hour for today. Thank you to our wonderful guests for joining, and we look forward to seeing everyone, whoever comes back tomorrow, welcome. But I will definitely be here tomorrow, all right? So I'll go ahead and end this stream right now, and end stream.